Merry Christmas. Debbie Holloway here. I thought I might try how not to cook for Christmas. So this year, something I haven't done in many, many years, I'm going to make a turkey. And for those of you that know me, this time I did take it out a little earlier. Last time I tried a turkey many years ago, I took it out on Christmas Eve. Well, I didn't know that a frozen turkey needed more time to defrost. So this year, I took it out a couple days ago. So I think that's going to be fine. Now, what I'm going to work on today, though, is something that I know they'll love if it comes out okay. I got this book, this recipe book from my brother. It's called Baking with Dory. Now, you probably wonder, how did he come up with that? Well, he had visited my husband and I in Maine for a week and decided that I reminded him of Dory on Finding Nemo. So he saw this. I don't think the baking had anything to do with it. However, he does know I can't cook. So he got me this book and I thought, well, what the heck? I could try a few things. So I tried the cornbread, and even my mother hated it. Usually your mother likes everything you cook. I tried sponge cake with like a chocolate drizzle on it. My husband said, oh, throw that away. It's too grainy. Okay. And then I tried the brownies and they were good. Shocking. So they were good. And I decided, well, I'll try something else. And I thought, I'm not much of a cook, as many of you know. And I decided I'd watch a cooking show. So I watched Pioneer Woman, Brie, anyway, whatever her name is. So I watched that and I noticed some things that I think had been missing. Pre-measuring everything. She had all kinds of great utensils and she was pre-measuring everything. And I thought, I'll try this. So I'm making a Lisbon chocolate cake. And she says, it's very easy. That's why I decided I'd make it, because she says it's very easy. So we're going to see. Let me pop this up here if I can without breaking something. So I pre-measured everything. It calls for unsweetened cocoa. Check. Got all this stuff out here. It calls for cornstarch. Look at that. I have it in its own thing. Check. It calls for baking. Calls for 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Oops. Almost forgot the baking powder. I checked. This one has not expired yet. My other one had, so I threw it away. So it calls for the baking powder. I'm not sure really what all these things mean, but I've got to find another 1/4 of a teaspoon. Well, I only have one, but I have two that say 1/8, so I'm going to do two of these. So I got 1/8. Is 1/8 and 1/8? Is that a 1/4? I don't know, that might be wrong. I'm going to put the salt in the baking powder lid and do one with an actual 1/4 since I only have one. So there, I now have the baking powder. And then it calls for 1/4 of the salt. It called for fine sea salt. I don't have fine sea salt. I don't even know. I don't get the whole thing about fine. It must be, like grainy or something, sea salt. I don't know. It calls for a stick of butter. Got the butter. It calls for 5 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. Well, what I have, I think will work. I have these, and I found, because I said, how do you figure 5 ounces? I get a cup or something, but 5 ounces didn't make sense, but I found this. This is the coolest thing. I have no idea where I got it, maybe a yard sale or something, but look at that. It will tell me how many ounces. So check this out. I can pour this in here. Look. It says I'm at, not quite 5. Nope, that's too much. Gotta be right. Don't wanna, got one under there. Oh geez, now that's not good. That affects the weight. I don't know how I did that. Okay, so let's look here. Can you see? I think we are at 5 ounces. I better take 2 more out to be exact. that is so cool. I might use this again. Who knew? So look, I can take it off. Now I have my chocolate chips. So I've got my 5 ounces. And then it says a half a cup of sugar. I have a half a cup of sugar. Oh, 3 cold large eggs. Now here's the thing. Why do eggs have to be cold? I'm not really sure what that means. Why are they cold, not cold? I don't know. So I got my eggs. Now, what it says is I need to preheat the oven. I haven't done that yet. It says to butter a 9-inch cake pan or use baker's spray. Well, I don't have a 9-inch cake pan because I never make cake. So what I do have though, I went out and got this and I thought it would be okay, but then it dawned on me, it's probably not. It is like one of these, and like this comes out. There's got to be a reason that comes out. But anyway, I got it because I'm also going to make a tomato tart. Now, I know some of you are going to say that sounds absolutely awful. I think it sounds like really, really good. So anyway, I got this. It's 9 inches, right? So 9 inches works. All right, so I got this, and it says baker's spray. Look, I bought, because I've been using olive oil, and that doesn't work. I think I got something going here. I think I'm going to make this work. All right, so I need to spread around the baker's spray. Then it says to put parchment paper in it. And can I tell you, this is genius. Who knew parchment paper is the most amazing thing ever? Thanks to my friend Kathy and Dorothy, they said I should get parchment paper. I did. It's amazing. So I took it, look. I cut a piece that fits right inside. Check that out. I guess I'll find out later what that means. It says to put the parchment paper in and butter or spray the paper. So I have sprayed the paper. How cool is this? All right, now it says sift together the cocoa powder, cornstarch, baking powder, and salt in a bowl. Okay, I have bowls somewhere. I have a bowl. So now I've got to sift. Well, I don't have a sifter because I would never use it, but I have one of these that I use for like straining tea bags for tea. So I'm going to sift the cocoa powder. Take a while. I'm not really sure why it tells you to sift it. I mean, cocoa powder is cocoa powder, but it does make it look like really fine. So I'm sure there's a good reason that I'm doing this, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, so I'm going to sift the cocoa powder. Then I'm going to sift the cornstarch. I wonder if I can put them in at the same time. Maybe I get why people need a sifter. That might not take quite as long as this does. Because now I've got these big things at the bottom that aren't sifting out. Oh yeah, there you go. That'll do. Oh, that's even faster. Huh. All right, so now I have sifted that. I'm going to sift, the cornstarch. Which one was the baking? Okay, this is the cornstarch. So I'm going to sift the cornstarch. Sifted the cornstarch. Then I'm going to add the baking powder, which was just a 1/4. Got it? Sifting baking powder. That one was easy. And salt from my lid. I don't think you sift salt. Anyway, I just did. And I'm going to whisk it to blend. My little whisk is dirty, but a big whisk will work too. Oh, geez. Okay, so I'm going to sift it. I'm going to whisk it. And I've blended it. Now it says that I have to take the butter and I have to cut it into chunks. So, got a knife. I don't do slices count as chunks, or am I supposed to do something different? I don't know. It doesn't say how big the chunks need to be or how little. That's the thing with recipes. They need to be written for people like me. Don't say a little bit of this or don't say chunk. Kind of give me an idea here what I'm doing because I don't think I know. All right, so there's the chunk. Now what's interesting with the butter is I have to put it on a pan of boiling water. I think they probably make something, but I don't have that. So Pyrex, that should withstand heat, but over the water. I'm gonna put it on here, and I'm gonna boil the water. Oh, it says simmer the water, making sure it doesn't touch the bottom. I think I'm okay. And then I'm gonna scatter. They come up with these words, scatter. So I'm gonna, yeah, it's not touching. I'm gonna scatter the chocolate chips. Here's the thing. Why can't you just put it in a saucepan and melt them? What's that all about? I don't know. So I just did that. Now I'm gonna heat it, I'm gonna stir it, and when it turns glossy, I'm gonna remove it. And then I'm gonna take a spatula and I'm gonna mix it. And this one's really hard because you gotta mix these eggs in one at a time. It's a lot of work, let me just say. So I will show you the finished product in just a moment. Okay, we're back. This is really hot. I did it, it is melted, yay. Now it says to remove the bowl from the pan and working with a flexible spatula. Here's what I don't get. Aren't all spatulas flexible? Makes no sense to me. Anyway, I think I have one. And now I've got to stir in the sugar. Like we need more sugar. So put the sugar in there, stirring it with my flexible spatula. Once I get that stirred, it says it's going to look a little grainy, and it does, but not bad. Then it says, one by one, add the cold eggs, stirring energetically after each egg goes in. Seriously? All right, I'm going to crack them one at a time in this thing because I typically have trouble. I always seem to get shells in there, and I don't want to do that. Okay, here's one egg. So I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to stir energetically. Okay, maybe I need to break the yolk. That would be a good start. So I'm going to stir energetically. Of course, I don't want to make a mess and get this all over the counter, which would not be anything new, but I am stirring energetically. Now that egg looks like it is completely stirred in there, but it says stirring energetically. Once the third egg has been added, you got to beat it with the spatula for another minute. Well, now there's a thing. How do you beat a mixture? Beat? I don't know. That's what it says beat it. So when I get the third one in, doesn't it just mean like stir it really hard? I don't know, but that's what it says, beat it. Makes me think of that Michael Jackson song, Beat It, but I don't think it's anything like what they mean. All right, third egg going in, and I have to beat it. I have to beat it. Beat the egg, beat the mixture, I don't know, stir it really fast. I don't know. It says you must really stir with vigor. Sounds like a story. You must really stir with vigor and you must beat for a while. The mixture will be slippery and may seem on the verge of separating. It doesn't look anything like that. But that's just the sign that you're not done yet. Keep stirring and it will thicken considerably, look more coherent. How does a chocolate mixture look coherent? And what does that mean? Well, I'm stirring. It says, so anyway, it must, keep stirring, look more, and remind you of a pudding. When it's just right, the mixture will form into a little ribbon. What? That makes zero sense to me. How is this going to form into a ribbon? I don't even know what they mean by that, but I'm stirring vigorously. I wonder if I could have used a mixer on this or something, but it doesn't say to, it says do it by hand. So I am vigorously stirring, oh boy. And then it says turn the page. If you lift up a bit of it and let it fall back into the bowl, what? When it's just right, it will form a ribbon. Oh, if you lift up a bit and let it fall back into the bowl. It is not forming a ribbon. It is doing nothing. Because I think when they say a ribbon, it means like when it falls down, it kind of leaves like a little thing. This one ain't leaving nothing, so. Then I've got to add the dry ingredients. Well, I don't think I can add the dry ingredients because this little puppy is not, doesn't look anything. It hasn't looked like it's going to separate. Not sure what that means. Good Lord. Who needs a workout? All you need to do is cook. So I am stirring. At this point, it is not making a ribbon. And it says, wait a minute, let me go back. It says it will remind me of pudding. It does not remind me of pudding. I have not done this enough. Stir with vigor. Beat for a while. I need a nap. This is ridiculous. Well, looks like it's going to take me a while to do this. I'll be back. And we're back. Exactly 9 minutes later, I think I'm getting ribbons. Okay. You really need to be in great upper body shape to make this recipe. I hope this is right. I'm not really sure what else to do, and maybe you can't overbeat it. I hope not. But we're going to give it a shot and see how we do. So now turn the page again. So I'm going to pretend I had beaten this thing enough. And it says, if you lift up a bit and let it fall back in the bowl, it'll give me the ribbons. I think I'm getting that. I don't know if it's really pudding. It's really not quite that thick. But it says add the dry ingredients all at once and stir them in. I gotta hope I don't have to beat them. Dry ingredients. Okay, stir them in. Stirring them in. Scrape the batter into a pan and give the pan a couple of good raps against the counter to settle it. Well, the thing I'm most concerned about is that the bottom of this pan comes out. So I hope nothing leaks. I've not ever tried these before, but we'll see how, whoops, a little of that on the counter. Let me do this so you guys can see. So, well, I keep getting the dry ingredients all over the counter. They don't stir in that well. I thought they would just like stir right in. They do not stir right in. So I'm going to stir these in. And here's the thing. I have preheated my oven to the 325. It doesn't have to cook very long, but when this is done, or when I've got this in the oven, I've got to make what's called the ganache or ganache. I'm going to say ganache. I've never made that before. I've read about what I'm supposed to do, and I have to say, it looks rather complicated, but I don't think it's going to be as hard on my shoulders as this is. All right, this is mixed. So it's going to go on in the pan. So here we go. So put this in the pan. That looks pretty good. I see ribbons now. I don't know if that's too late or not, but I see ribbons coming out. Now, how this is not going to seep under the pan, I don't know, but it's all I had, so I'm going to have to give it a shot. But it says, let's take this off of here. Get this in here, spread it around so it's all covers the whole pan. I don't want to miss any of the chocolate in here because I kind of got a lot of dry ingredients on the counter. I'd rather not mess this one up because I don't have a do-over. So now it says wrap it against the counter. Hope that worked. Okay, now it says, check that out. Doesn't that look good? Bake it for 18 to 20 minutes. So I don't guess I have to put it on a cookie sheet. I thought maybe I did. Okay, we're gonna bake this and then back with the ganache. We're back and now we're going to make the ganache. So here we go. it says to take the whipping cream. Oh, I got it. Oh, nuts. The little thing came off the whipping cream, so now I gotta figure out how to get it open because the thing came off. So I'm gonna try this. I just poke holes. Maybe that'll. This thing doesn't want to come off at all. Oh, wait. Hang on. I think I'm getting it. Look at that. I think I got it. I don't know how come those things happen. All right, so now what it says is take 1 1/4 cups of the heavy whipping cream. I hope I have enough. And 1/4 cups. And put it in the saucepan. I'm going to heat it up. What does it say to do? It says, oh my gosh, medium heat until you see little bubbles around the perimeter. Yeah. I guess it's another one of my flexible spatulas. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to put the cream in here. Need to get it all out. Okay. I think this is the kind of stuff you can actually make like homemade whipping cream. Like, but I'm not going to try that. All right, so we're on medium heat. This has got to, it's not on. Come on. Come on. Okay, there you go. Still not sure about the stove, but working on it. So it's here. Now I've got to heat the cream until I see little bubbles around the perimeter, then turn it off and add my 6 ounces, my ounce thing again, worked so well, 6 ounces of chocolate chips or something like that. Anyway, let's see. Stir until it's melted and fully incorporated. Some of the terms they use, I don't get them. Transfer it to a heat-proof bowl, which I have, and I'm going to put that, then I'm going to refrigerate it for 10 minutes. Oh, great. So I got to take it out every 10 minutes and whisk it and then put it back. And it's going to take an hour to do this. Holy crow. Okay, well, we'll do this part. Come on and heat, bubble up there. I see a couple bubbles coming. So I'm going to mix this, put it in the bowl, and refrigerate. Why, I think that's why Betty Crocker has done so well. I think she's done so well because Betty Crocker must have made it easier. I think she did the cake mixes. And later on a future episode, you're going to see me cook my 15-pound turkey. And I'm going to make some fig and blue cheese bites. They call for a mini muffin pan. I don't have one, so I got to figure something out, but I'll figure something out. And then I'm going to make my tomato torte tomorrow. So more to come. But for now, this thing doesn't is it on? It's like it's not on. Could do different. Oh gosh, I have got flour all over me. Now it's on. I don't know what that's all about. And here's the thing. Why do I have to wait for this to boil to put these in? Why not just put these in? Why not just put these in and then put it all on the stove together? I mean, it seems to me at the end, it's all going to be melted. Can they just melt together? I don't know. I really don't know. But we'll see. It's warm. It's just not very warm. I wonder if I could put it on high and that would speed it up. Probably not a good idea. No, I'll go back to medium. I don't think I'm supposed to stir it. I think I'm just supposed to, yep, doesn't say to stir it. Just says to wait for the bubbles. Such a waiting game. Well, now I see steam coming up. That's a good sign. Man, do I have a mess to clean up. See, that's the other problem with cooking, in my opinion, is cleaning up the mess. And you know what? When I was watching Pioneer Woman, she did not seem to have any trouble with that. It's like she goes in, the kitchen's clean, she's done, the kitchen's clean. I think she's probably got somebody cleaning it up for her. That's probably what I need. But if I'm going to hire somebody to clean it up for me, why not just hire somebody to cook it for me? Oh well, we're starting to get a little boil, a little, no real bubbles, but it's getting warm. I see a little bit coming. Stuff doesn't smell that good while it's heating up. I wonder, could you burn this easily? Probably. Huh. I don't know. Still waiting for those bubbles around the edges. Heat until you see little bubbles around the perimeter. This Dory must be really smart. Perimeter. Okay. Can you see I'm getting heat? That's good. And I've got a unique recipe for my turkey when I do that one with you, that you actually cook it overnight. Best turkey I've ever had. I got that from my friend, because the only other turkey I ever made wasn't very good. And I think it's because I had to soak it in water to try to thaw it out. And I'm not sure it ever really thawed out. You know, none lessons learned. All right. We're getting some, it's like it's getting a film over the top of it. I don't know what that's all about, but I'm just starting to get a little bit around the edges, a little bubbling up. So I'm going to take my chips. I thought I bought two things of chocolate chips, but I'd actually bought one of the big chips, as you can see, and the other one was the little morsel chips. I figure it doesn't matter. 6 ounces is 6 ounces, and they're both, I'm pretty sure, milk chocolate. I should check that too, but I think it won't matter. Okay, it is bubbling, so I'm going to put these in. Oh, I got to turn the heat off. And I'm going to stir them. I think I have to take it off the heat, right? Turn off the heat. Oh no, it doesn't say to take it off. It says turn it off and add these. It says stir until it's melted and fully incorporated. It's like we're trying to form a city. All right, stir until fully incorporated. You would think that would be easy, but so far none of these have been. So I am stirring. It's going to take a lot of stirring here. I think I can use my, because look, they just kind of, you get like a blob. I guess that just takes time. So I'm going to stir these in, pour it in the bowl, put it in for 10 minutes, and I'll check back in a bit. Okay, 10 minutes in, and it's kind of really more like pudding than the other recipe was. But that's my ganache. Now it says gently stir it with a whisk. Gently stir with a whisk. And put it back in the refrigerator. Really? Gently stir with a whisk and put it back in the refrigerator. And I'm going to be doing this now every 10 minutes for an hour. Oh boy. Check back with you later. So I had to take a quick break and go ride a horse. I was getting a little frustrated. And the reason was I got the cake back in its pan with parchment papers that I'm supposed to use to lift it out later. We'll see how that goes. I made my ganache, which looks great. The only problem is I lost about a third of it because I got it out of the fridge, and when I went to turn around to put it back in, the door was in the way and I splattered it everywhere on the floor. So I'm a little low on the ganache, but it will make it work. And then I did some whipped cream with a mixer. I can't imagine trying to do that by hand. I mean, baking is frustrating enough. I'm pretty sure it requires patience that I don't have. All right, so let's look at what we have to do now. I've got to whisk this with a few beats. Okay, so I've whisked that. And it is spreadable like frosting, like it says. Then I have to scrape the whipped cream over it. And it's calling for me to use my flexible spatula. So let me let you see here. Okay, I've got this. I've got a, I don't think that's a flexible spatula, but whatever. I don't know. Doesn't quite feel as flexible as the other. It could be because it's smaller. I don't know. So I'm going to take this whipped cream. Here's the other thing I can't figure out. When I spilled that chocolate ganache all over the place, it spilled all over me. And yet these people on TV that are cooking, do you notice their clothes never get dirty? I mean, nothing ever gets dirty. Nothing. They don't spill stuff on them. You know, they must have a boatload of people around them doing stuff, because I don't see how. I had chocolate all up the arm of my thing. I had to go change it. It was a mess. All right, so it says to take this and using a flexible spatula, fold it in until the mixture is smooth. Okay, I gotta say, it does look good, doesn't it? I'm thinking this could be really good. It's just, I have not enough ganache, and maybe it's gonna then have to be more whipped cream, so I don't know how that's gonna taste. So once I get this stirred up, it'll look good. I wonder if it tastes good. I'm afraid to even try it. I'm gonna spread this in an even layer over the top of the cake. And then I'm gonna slide the cake in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours. Now, I'm not sure the whole thing about sliding it. Why don't I just put it in there? But this gal, Dory, she has some great recipes, and she has quite a mastery of the English language, using words like coherent. I'm not sure what that means. But this looks to be fully mixed. So here we go. I'm going to, hang on, remove that. Bring this over here. I'm going to pour this on. Man, I hope this is good, because I got to tell you, it was a lot of work, and it actually looks really good. I know I'm just going to be a little light on the ganache part, or ganache part, however you call it, whatever you call it. Well, if I put much more in, it's going to go over the sides. I don't know if I can even use all of this. I'm luckier than I thought. All right, so there we go. It is in, and now I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and it says I should keep it in there until I'm ready to use it, because it is better a little bit cooled. I hope that doesn't go over the edge. All right, so you know what, let's do. Let's see if this is any good. Oh man. Oh, that is so good. All right, so next I'm making mashed potatoes, green beans, and turkey. Oh boy,